deserve to talk about it.
So according to OBS, we're recording now. Hello everyone, this is Michael from Chuckle-Bits Radio, and we're trying something new here. We're going to pretend to stream. We're basically going to do a stream, but I'm going to record it onto my computer because, you know, me and Stevie are hopeless at computery stuff. So this is how we're doing it. I've got Stevie here. I'm going to play Sonic 3. This is Sonic 3 A.I.R, Angel Island Revisited, which is basically a native port of Sonic 3 and Knuckles to the PC with all sorts of lovely extras. But I'm just going to get on with the game. And Stevie is very excited because
I want to talk about the Munsters.
Played the Munsters.
I've watched the Munsters.
I've watched it. Yeah.
The Munster. It does sound like in the 90s there might have been an SNES game with the Munsters in like a cheapo. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Cash in, like the Addams Family game or Festa's Quest or something.
Well,
like
there was
that.
a film in the 90s, so that makes a bit more sense.
Yeah, but well, no, because they did a Home Improvement game as well.
That's also true.
Anyway, I watched the Munsters, which was okay. The movie is bad.
Yeah,
I loved it. The movie is. I can't say it was good.
So you're the only person I know that has watched.
I did love it. I loved it. I thought it was intent. Everything in it, I think, was intentional. But it was so bizarre. It's so like, okay, so the jokes are like, you can see them a mile away, and they're all really, really naff. Like one they repeat a couple of times. I forgot what it was though. But one of my favourite ones is did you hear about the company that's making glass coffins? Oh, are they six? Yeah, remains to be seen.
So that is that a little taste of what the Munsters movie is like?
or jokes like, "Oh, my mother-in-law fell down a wishing well. I didn't know the wish would work that fast." Oh no, you laugh. That means you might like the Munsters.
Who wrote the Munsters? Who wrote it?
I don't know, but it's exactly. All the jokes are terrible. Like the transition. Oh my god, the transitions in the movie are like sometimes spooky blob. The stream has ended, by the way. It says that on my Discord.
No, it's still going.
Well, it says to me the stream has ended.
No, it's not. I'm going to bring it back.
Sometimes you get like a slime transition or like a bat transition or like just really, really naff transitions that you don't see in movies. I fully think that if Rob Zombie could get away with it, he would put a laugh track in the movie. I actually think that because the characters, they all laugh after every single joke that they tell. They all go, oh, and it's really obvious. That's where you're supposed to laugh. And it made me laugh in return. So there were times when a joke that I didn't find funny would happen, but then the characters just laughing at it would make me laugh. And then I would end up laughing anyway. And it just, oh God, the film looks intentionally fake and garish, but you can tell Rob Zombie wanted to make it in black and white because there are like all the TV screens are in black and white. There's a short sequence that in black and white. The ending, which is a tribute to the beginning of the openings of the TV show,
which you've never seen.
Which I've never seen. I've only seen this. I want to show you a screenshot that I took of the Munsters because I found this so mind-blowing, this ridiculous screenshot, because it looks absolutely terrible and I couldn't believe that it was in a modern movie. Like, this is the type of movie where, like, you get, like, like love hearts projected onto the background of someone when they like find out when they see someone that they like it's that type of movie. Oh yeah, look at the screenshot I just posted in the chat.
Okay, I'll pause the game. This game is running at such a low frame rate that it's almost impossible to play, but so they're driving through what looks like The Simpsons or something. For no reason. This one montage has a cartoon background, and it's the only time that it does it like that. It's in black and white though.
I know.
It looks a lot more authentic that way.
For some reason, that's the only sequence when they're driving to look at their apartment to look for their house. Oh, and the structure of the movie is so weird as well. Okay, so when you watch the trailer, you kind of get an idea that it's going to be an origin story of how Lily and Herman met and fell in love. Yeah,
yep.
They would kind of be like a rom-com almost.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's not the entire movie. That's after 90. The movie's 2 hours long.
You've said that multiple times. The movie's 2 hours
because
long.
I can't believe it. Because it didn't need to be. Because first of all, Herman Munster only gets made half an hour into it.
Oh,
and
wow.
Then,
so what's the rest of the film then? What's the first half an hour if Herman Munster isn't in it?
It's like really the first half an hour I didn't like because it was too slow. It was like really weird. It just shows Lily going on a bad date and just the sort of the daily lives of the Munsters and Herman Munster being created and his origin story. But like, well, the thing I found just like, okay, so they get married like an hour and a half into the movie, but there's still half an hour left, and the rest of it's just like the movie just keeps going, but there isn't really a plot. Like the Munsters lose their castle, for some, they just do, and so they have to go looking for a new house, and then they need to get a job, and then there's a Halloween party, and there's no real like plot. It's just like things are like happening, and like in the trailer you think that Grandpa Munster is gonna be really really like mean, and he's not gonna like Herman Munster is gonna be like him trying to fuck up their relationship or something, sabotage it. It's not really that. He does one thing, which he tries to do a spell, but it doesn't go well. But that's the only thing he does. There's no like hijinks with him like trying to sabotage them and it not going well and stuff like that. That doesn't really happen. And then he just becomes really friendly with Herman for like the last quarter of the movie. It's really weird. And like the last half hour of the movie doesn't seem to have anything else to do with the other half of the movie, and then the movie like it just kind of ends with them being rich, like they have no money because Herman Munster gave, spoilers by the way, because Herman Munster gave all the money to the brother-in-law.
What kind of monster is the brother-in-law?
A werewolf.
Oh.
So
wait
it gives all the...
Isn't their son a werewolf?
Yeah, I think that's how they tried to make the son work.
The genetics.
I don't know. Yeah, the genetics of that work. So he's a werewolf, and he rips them off and takes their castle. Oh. And they don't get their castle back, which is weird. It's like the bad guys win. They don't actually win their castle back in the end, and they're just broke. And then the brother-in-law comes back and says, "Hey, I ended up making a lot of money in Las Vegas. Here's your share of the money." And then they go, "Oh, we're rich now! Hooray!" And then the movie does the TV intro, and then it's the end of the movie. It's just end. It's not like a conclusion because it already concluded like half an hour earlier. The movie just kind of stops.
10 out of 10.
I loved it. I couldn't stop. I loved it. It was too terrible, but too intentional, because I could see the thought process behind nearly everything. Apart from the structure of the movie, which is baffling, I could just kind of like... I was like, yeah, I get this. I completely get this. Like, he wanted to make it in black. I think it should have been black and white, obviously. But
I mean, someone will inevitably do that, won't they? A fan, if there are any.
I'm a fan. I loved it. I've never seen the TV show, but I loved the Munsters. I loved the movie. It's so good.
I mean, you've seen a lot of films, right?
Yeah.
Would you say it's quite unique? You've never quite seen something like it.
I have never seen anything like it. I'll say that.
You've seen a lot of bad films as well.
I've seen a lot of shitty films, yeah. It's not. It is a so bad it's good movie. It is a fun bad movie. It's not boring. Like, I guess if you don't like puns, you're not gonna like the movie. If you don't like really obvious jokes and then characters laughing at those really obvious jokes, then you're gonna not like it so much.
Oh God, this poor game. Keep talking. This game's running at 4 frames per second. I gotta do.
I loved it. I actually really liked the cinematography in the movie. It's also deliberately fake and naff looking. And yeah, Rob Zombie said that since he wasn't allowed to do black and white, he'd make it as colourful as he possibly could, and he did, and it works. It really works. The only thing is, I think maybe the film should have been shot on film and not digital. Would have looked a lot better for its aesthetic. It looks a little bit. The digital quality makes it look a little bit too. I know, but it makes the. I mean, it was definitely a cheap movie to make. You can tell, but like, it's definitely like you can feel it would have been better to shoot it in film. It would have looked a lot better, a lot like an old monster movie. Oh God, the one funny thing is, you were mentioning the werewolf boy from the Munsters.
Yeah, their son. Yeah.
He's in the not him, the character, the actors in the movie. I looked this up, but he's in a robot costume that completely covers his body,
right?
And his voice is modulated, so you wouldn't even know it was him.
So there's no way you would have known that he made an appearance in it.
No, absolutely. He's like in a tinfoil robot costume that completely covers him from head to toe, and his voice is like changed it to like a robot voice. So if you didn't know, there would be no clue that it was him. Which that was gotta be a joke. That has to be an in joke.
But you like it. You like it.
I think that's hilarious. I think it's brilliant. And oh my God, there's genuine punk songs in the movie.
Is the song Dragula in the film?
No, but there is there are like Rob Zombie styled songs in the movie.
Right.
Which doesn't really work with the tone, but I still kind of loved it. I don't know if it's a good movie to watch around Halloween. It's a good movie to watch, and I'd say it's the perfect movie for the background of a Halloween party. I think that's what James Rolfe said, and he's absolutely right. It's the perfect movie to have on the background in a Halloween party and just look at the spooky images.
Well, it's Rob Zombie's house every day, isn't it? So does he just have it on in a loop?
Yeah, probably.
That's what
and I loved it. I loved the Munsters.
You love the Munsters.
I love the Munsters. I love it.
I know you do.
I love it so much.
Right.
I love it. It's my 2 favourite movies now, Blue Velvet and the Munsters.
Right. Hold on. I'm going to try something different. Because Sonic's not really working out for me. Let's put up the Be Right Back. You can see... Can you see now? No, you probably can't see anything, can you?
It says the stream has ended.
That's okay. The stream has ended for you, but the recording is still just fine. Now, I have got an emulator on here already. I've got Final Burn Neo, so perhaps a emulated arcade game may run a little bit better.
I hope they make another Munsters movie.
Oof, really?
No, they won't make it, though. I know they won't do it. They probably saw what Rob Zombie made and went, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
That's what I like about it as well. You can really tell that Rob Zombie just didn't give a fuck and wanted to do whatever he wanted to do. Like, I think they expected something different, but this is absolutely what I like about it. Is that it genuinely feels like a joke. Like they said, we want you to make a Munsters movie, and he said, oh, okay, I'll give you a fucking Munsters movie.
Yeah.
And made intentionally the most corniest shit that you could imagine. Because what else is a Munsters movie going to be?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's why I think that it is a piece of art.
Yeah, well, I mean, really?
I do. It is. I love it. I loved it so much. thought it was brilliant. I would teach it in a film class if I was teaching one.
And what would be the lesson?
Auteur film theory.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not joking, that would be the lesson that I'd try and impart from this. Because who could make this film but Rob Zombie, really? Which is weird because all of his movies are usually gritty and violent and horrible. Maybe this one's like child-friendly.
He's probably been fantasizing about this film for a long, long time. Ever since he was
definitely.
a child.
He definitely wanted to make this as a child, you can tell. Oh, the jokes are so bad. That's so good. Oh, I love The Munsters.
Was it... I mean, you waited a long time to watch it, and did it work for you?
What, the movie?
Yeah.
I liked the movie. I enjoyed the experience of the movie.
It was worth the wait. It didn't disappoint you. It was exactly what you thought it would be.
It was exactly what I thought it would be, yeah. It's exactly what I thought it would be. That's why I loved it.
You loved The Munsters.
I loved The Munsters. The only thing, okay, 2 hours is a bit too long.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
It's a bit too long, I would say. Maybe you could trim down that last half an hour. And maybe the opening half an hour. You could. I would say when Herman Munster comes into it, the movie gets a lot better. It gets a lot funnier. For me, it gets a lot of its energy. So, and like, because it takes like half an hour, like they really didn't need all of that stuff when it's like showing them making him and the scientist who makes him, you didn't really need that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, also there was a joke. Oh, one of my a good joke is Herman Munster's trying to look for a job, and he says, I could see myself working in a mirror factory.
Well, that's the joke.
Yeah. And you know what's better is that Herman Munster does a big laugh after it as well. He goes,
the characters all laugh at their own jokes.
Yeah, they do. They all laugh at their own jokes. And then other characters will like join in as well. So you just get scenes of like really crap jokes and then characters just laughing at them. Munster will just say something and then he'll go, oh. It really is truly awful. Oh, but that's why it's so good. That's why we love it.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out... I've got Final Burn and an emulator open, and I can't add it to my sources. Why can't I? Seems strange, doesn't it?
Are you going to watch The Munsters?
No, I'm not going to watch the...
Why aren't you going to watch The Munsters? Why? It's good.
Watch The Munsters.
I gave it my recommendation.
I know you did.
It doesn't give anything to you, the fact that I liked it, no. Oh. You're not going to watch it on Halloween? Be a Halloween treat?
Ah, there we go. Sorry, keep talking.
So yeah, The Munsters. I loved it. It was genuine.
The Munsters.
I loved The Munsters. It was good. And I enjoyed it very much. And so that was one of the first things I did in my week. What about your week? What have you been up to?
I finally finished Dark Souls 2.
You've been playing that for bloody years now.
It feels like it, yeah. 90 hours. I put into Dark Souls 2. Right, hold on. I'm going to share my screen with you again, you silly Billy.
That's supposed to be one of the not so good ones as well.
I know, but I wanted to play it just out of curiosity. Yes, it has a lot of problems. Can you see Metal Slug?
Oh, I love Metal Slug.
Can you see it?
Wait, I'm joining your stream.
Oh, this one's much better.
Yeah, I can see Metal Slug.
You can see
it.
It's
really well too.
Can't hear you though.
That's because I can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better. Hold on.
Maybe you want to turn down your volume.
Yeah, hold on. You can't
Turn down.
You can't pause an arcade machine, that's the problem. But I can pause the emulation. Right, that's quieter. No, that's still too loud.
Try volume control.
I'm doing it. It's on like 3%. Right, I can hear you now. You all good?
Well, yeah, but it's kind of hard to hear you, and I can't change my volume control because it's all coming out of Discord.
Wait. What's the problem?
Metal Slug, the music.
Oh, so I've turned it down on Windows, which is good for the stream. So you are hearing... Well, can't...
Because but all of your volume is the same in my volume control because it's all coming out of Discord.
Why can't I just mute? Can you mute my stream?
Mute you if I mute your stream. I get
stream part. Is there a little bit to do that? Can you mute the stream but not the voice?
I don't think so.
Input.
Wait, let me look. Let me look it up.
Oh, bloody hell.
Mute,
deafen. I don't want to do that. I'm going to play Metal Slug. You can just hear me play Metal Slug. Do 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 do.
Sound settings.
Oh, for goodness sake, Stevie, I'm playing Metal Slug.
Yeah, and I can't really hear you that much.
There must be a way for you to turn down the stream.
That's what I'm doing. I'm looking.
Not in the settings. There should just be an option on the stream to just to mute it, in case you want to watch YouTube or something.
I did it, but then I couldn't hear you.
Output volume.
Oh wait.
Right,
I think I've got it started. Yeah, I got it.
Goodness sake, Stevie.
Anyway, how is your week going? Was what I was asking.
Well, it's Tuesday. The week hasn't been going for too long, but it's been pretty good so far. My job has been fine. It's been busy, but it's been fine actually. I'm having trouble sleeping, which is strange. I'm having a bit of trouble, and it happens every year, I've realised. I finally kind of nailed this down, that I'm really not... As much as I like aesthetically and visually the autumn, part of my brain, the Unga Bunga caveman part of my brain, really doesn't like it getting darker and darker. I don't like waking up in the morning and it's still dark outside, like it's nighttime. So I'm finding it kind of tough to get out of bed in the morning. And it's colder and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah. Be a bit nippy.
It's getting nippy, and sorry, I'm playing Metal Slug. Probably shouldn't.
Get your nips out for the lads.
Yeah. I'm playing Metal Slug.
What about your plans? You got anything planned for the weekend? Any wild things? Yeah, going out.
Out and about.
Out and about, going to see Coldplay at the discotheque.
Well, it's a bit too cold for Coldplay.
Yeah, you need to watch some warm play.
I don't think so. I mean, we're kind of saving money a little bit because we're still hoping to go to Japan. I probably mentioned that before.
You already went?
Sure, I have been to Japan. I would like to go again.
Oh, I see. You can go.
I'm surprised
I forgot you can go to places more than once.
Yeah. If you're desperate, if you're a real loser like me.
Yeah, you can't think of any other places to go.
Oh, I should have just streamed arcade games from the start. I'm going to do that from now on. Actually, I think Final Burn has other emulators built into it as well, so I might be able to play Sega games. Anyway, yeah, so Japan's has notoriously kept its borders almost completely closed to tourists ever since COVID started. It's one of the last countries to really open its border to foreign tourists.
That in North Korea, you can't go there.
Yeah, I know. We're postponing our holiday to North Korea, which is a shame because I've always wanted to. I need to get auto fire set up on this. I'm going to get carpal tunnel syndrome. What's your opinion on auto fire in games?
If it makes the game more fun for you, then
yeah,
fine with that.
I think there's some purists who really don't like the idea, but I just think.
I mean, it's the same as save states. You know, like some retro games are almost impossible to play without save states. You try playing the old Lion King game without save states, you're not going to get very far.
I totally understand. Actually, I used to really hate save states. I thought it kind of cheapened the experience, but as an adult, I kind of just realised that for some of these games, the only way I'm ever going to get to see most of them is just to use save states. Some of these old retro games are just too long for me to sit down and play in one sitting. I don't always have an hour and a half to play a game in one sitting.
It's not that they're long. Usually they're very, very short. It's that they're just really, really hard, unnecessarily hard.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I don't think anyone can argue that going back to, the Lion King again. I don't think anyone can argue that the Lion King, either version, which is the notoriously more difficult version, is the Sega one.
I think the SNES one's a bit harder because the field of view, there's less pixels on the screen or something, so it's actually zoomed in a bit more. But
which one is the one with the I can't wait to be king level? That's the harder one.
They both do. They're both equally. They're not.
They're both really hard, but I know there's one of them that's notoriously hard, and I think that's the SNES one. It's probably the SNES one.
They're both pretty much the same, Steve.
They're both really hard either way, but what I'm getting at is I don't think anyone can play that Lion King game, which was intended for children, by the way. When that game first came out, I don't know how they ever expected any children to beat that game. Of course, it was the game. It was the Disney. Didn't want people to.
Bloody Disney.
They didn't want people. No, they didn't want people to rent it and
beat it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they made it intentionally really, really hard. But I don't think it's fair. I think it's to just level the playing field. In a game that hard, I think it's absolutely fine to have save states so you don't have to keep repeating the most frustrating parts of it over and over.
That's a really extreme example, and I say that because I think the game's kind of ruined. The game is worse because it's hard. Some games are hard, and that's like a fair challenge. Lion King's not really that fair.
Yeah, well, it's I would say Super Meat Boy is a fair, difficult game.
I don't think I could be bothered to play Super Meat Boy anymore.
But it is a fair, difficult game. It's not like The Lion King, which I don't think is fair. Or something like, Comic Zone, where I've only ever legitimately.
I don't think I've got past the first level before on it.
I've done the second level, and I love Comic Zone. I love the art style. I think it's really ahead of its time in a lot of ways, but it's just too hard.
I mean, it's not a game. I didn't know anyone who had Comic Zone. I wasn't even really aware of it as a child, right? So the first time I ever played it was on a compilation, on the Xbox 360, I think it was. There was a compilation on the Xbox 360, and the same thing would always happen. I'd boot it up, I'd start playing it, and think, "Oh man, this game looks really cool." I'd get killed, and I'd be like, "That was a bit weird," and then I wouldn't play it again for a year, and then I'd go, "Oh, hey, Comic Zone, I remember that."
Yeah.
And I just never had the tolerance to play it. It just seemed too tough, even though it looks super cool.
It is really cool, but it's ridiculous. But the difficulty in that game is definitely a detriment. They don't give you enough health. The combat the combat is good, but it's way too clunky, and other enemies move too fast. It's really not it's really not a fair challenge at all. So I would say,
is it a good game?
I think it's a great game. But I think that it could be a brilliant game.
I think that's where ROM hacks come in these days. I'll be honest. Almost, if there's ever a retro game I want to play, I seriously want to have a crack at it. I will always check if there's like ROM hacks that out there that improve it in some way. Some of those improve them graphically. Some of them, fix bugs, and some of them just make really difficult games more accessible, dare I say easier, but in the name of enjoyability, like make these games enjoyable that have been artificially created in a way that makes them overly difficult. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So no, I agree.
So if I was to play Comic Zone, I'd probably look to see if there was someone had made a more fair version of it that was more enjoyable to play.
Well, I mean, I'd like to experience it in its wacky art style and the things it does, and but I just
less stressful.
Can't. Yeah, it's almost too stressful to be able to enjoy it in a way.
I'm not doing too good on this boss, am I?
Yeah, and it's not like, something like Dark Souls or Demon Souls where the entire point of the game is that it's difficult. Sure. The only reason, and the design of the game is based around its difficulty. The only reason that Comic Zone is that way is because they didn't want people to beat it too fast.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I got hit. That's my first death. That's annoying. You get punished really severely in this game for dying, points-wise at least, if you're going for a decent score. Because deaths quite often occur in the bosses as well, right near the end. But anyway, I'm just playing this. This is just a casual run of Metal Slug. I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm still doing better than Stevie ever would.
Shut up. Anyways,
watch me. I'm going to get an A rank on Hotline Miami, everyone.
Shut up! Shut up! No one even knows about that.
I do. Are those videos still on YouTube somewhere? That's
Probably.
A good question, actually. Where am I going to put this? Do you have a YouTube channel?
I'll make one.
We can make.
We'll make a Chuckle-Bits YouTube channel.
I'm still waiting for the Idea Zone, though.
The Idea Zone.
Yeah, exactly.
The Idea Zone. I like the title. And I love the Munsters.
We'll make a video about the Munsters then.
What am I going to do a video on the Munsters about?
Just like a full 10 minutes of you going, oh, I love the Munsters.
I love the Munsters.
Love the Munsters. Oh, God, the Munsters. Let me tell you about the Munsters. Oh,
do a video about a highly acclaimed movie that I don't like, and then end it with, but I love the Munsters. What highly acclaimed movie do I
2001: A Space Odyssey is fucking boring, but the Munsters, man, I love the Munsters.
The Munsters. That's a good one. A lot of people say it's boring, but that's because they're stupid.
The Godfather, man, it's such a long film. But I love the Munsters.
The Munsters is probably the same amount of time as the Munsters, honestly. Godfather. Actually, I'm going to look that up. What's longer, The Godfather or the Munsters?
The Godfather's like nearly 3 hours, isn't it? I'm sure.
I know The Godfather Part 2 is nearly that long.
You know what? The Godfather might just feel boring.
Oh yeah, The Godfather is nearly 3 hours. Yeah, the Munsters just whizzes past. That's the thing. Oh, I love the Munsters.
Oh, I hate this mid-stage boss. I used to be able to do him without dying, but I'm not going to. Oh shit! There's like a way you can.
Oh, he's in my favourite Metal Slug game, Metal Slug 3.
Oh, Metal Slug 3's a fucking... I can never decide if I like Metal Slug 3 or not.
Why? It's the best one.
Is it?
has aliens and zombies in it.
I know, it's crazy balls to the wall insanity with like amazing pixel art. It's just insane. But actually playing it, actually trying to play that game well, it's so the last level of the game is longer than the rest of the game.
Oh, I know. It's I know.
Crazy.
That's what I like about the last level of the game. It feels really epic.
For a game of its kind, like it's really long as well. It just goes on and on. If you're just playing it for funsies, it's like really, really good. But if you're actually trying to beat it in like a reasonable amount of credits, it's really, really tricky and a bit frustrating, I think. My goal is always to try and beat Metal Slug games with a maximum of 5 credits.
Why 5?
I don't know. It's just an arbitrary decision I made. Because I'm never going to like 1cc any of these games. But Metal Slug 1 I can do in 5 credits most of the time. Usually using most of those credits near the end of the game. The last level is just insane. I've been able to get through the first 4 levels without dying. Not often, but sometimes I can. I've got like a 50-50 chance of doing the first 4 levels out of 6. But that's why I kind of like the first Metal Slug the best. It's a bit more simple, I think. A bit more pure in its gameplay.
Yeah.
Whereas like from 2 you start getting the transformations. Like you turn into a mummy or an obese person or whatever. And then 3, like the gameplay changes quite a lot. And you ride an ostrich or an elephant and all this other crazy stuff, which again is really, really fun. But like if you're trying to do it to a credit limit, or if you're trying to get a score, it means you've got a lot of different mechanics to get used to.
I'm just there for the pure funsies.
Yeah. I think that's where Metal Slug 3 excels. I would have hated to play it in the cinema in the arcade.
The cinema, yeah.
It would cost
I would
like
love
10
to play
quid
Metal
just to
Slug
get to the end.
Oh yeah.
If you have to actually pay for it, I don't know how anyone put up with that. It's all well and good playing it at home on an emulator or a home console version, but can you imagine actually spending your money playing Metal Slug 3? You wouldn't get very far. I wouldn't.
No. What's the other one? Metal Slug X is another good one.
Metal Slug...
What one's that based off?
Metal Slug 2. It's like an enhanced version of Metal Slug 2.
Yeah, there's that, and then there's Double X, which is I think 5 or something.
7.
Or 7. Oh, 7 because it's based off the DS one.
Yeah. Which I haven't played as much, to be honest. I like
That's good. They're all the Metal Slug games are good.
They're all, yeah, they vary a bit. Metal Slug 4's a bit of a dodgy one. See, I did that boss without dying. Did I? Yeah, I did.
I don't think I played all of them. What's not good about 4?
4, well, SNK kind of shut down after Metal Slug 3. Sometime after Metal Slug 3 was released. And the rights or something to SNK got bought up by another company, and a Korean developer made Metal Slug 4. So it feels a little bit different. It's okay, but I think it feels like a bit cheap, and it has lost a little bit of the art, quite a lot of the art style. It feels like a bit of a Metal Slug knockoff. It's not a bad game by any means, but it's kind of a bad Metal Slug game. But I think Metal Slug 5 is probably my second favourite. It's really weird. I never used to like Metal Slug at all. And then what happened was Emma hacked our PS Vita, and I took it. I started playing. I was trying to find games I could play on the bus, and I just started playing. There's a PSP compilation of all these Metal Slug games, and I just started playing that. And I just really got into it after a while. Like, to start with, I couldn't beat any of these games. I think on the PSP, you can play free play, or you can have a 30 credit limit. So I used to play with the 30 credit limit, and I couldn't beat any of them on 30 credits. And just slowly over time, I learned them. And I managed to whittle that down to, I'd beat it on 30 and I'd be really chuffed with myself. And then I'd beat it on 20 and I'd be like, wow, I did really well. And I managed to get it all the way down to 5, especially on Metal Slug 1 and 2. Although I think the end of Metal Slug 2 is really quite brutal as well. Once the aliens turn up, it gets a bit wacky. But that's the nature of these arcade games, unfortunately. They are trying to make some money. So,
yeah, well, they all
I think they all
every single arcade game. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, Metal Slug in particular, all have a really fun, pretty easy-going first level. Sometimes a second level as well, and then like all of a sudden you'll realise, oh shit, I've actually got to know how to play this game because this is really hard and I'm losing money. Like, I'm almost glad I didn't grow up with arcades. I think I would have spent all my pocket money just playing games like this.
Well, you get that, but there's also the thing with arcade games, and I noticed this recently because we've been getting a lot of arcade games ported, which is that when arcade games get to their final boss, you can really tell they're trying to wring out every last quid off of you.
I really don't like it. As someone who's grown up on console games only. Sorry, go on.
Well, no, I was just thinking, like, the House of the Dead. I played the remake of it recently. The final boss of that is literally just his hit points are his hit points are so small that it's like ridiculous, and he moves so fast that it's ridiculously hard to hit him. And also, his life compared to every single other boss is like ridiculously stretched out to every other ones. And it's also like the Simpsons arcade game. Mr. Burns takes like 1 billion hits in that game.
I know, it's a little bit of psychological manipulation. It's not that bad compared to today's standards of loot boxes and whatnot, but they know that you're at the end of the game and they know you're invested, so they know that you've got to spend that money just to... I did the same thing once when I played Sonic the Fighters. I actually played Sonic the Fighters in Sega World in London. And I managed
I love Sega World.
Yeah, I managed to get all the way to the last boss, which is Metal Sonic, pretty much one credit. And then all of a sudden, he just kept beating me, and I really wanted to see the end. And I spent like £3 back in the day on Metal Sonic, and I had to just give up, and I was really sad.
Yeah, that's the entire point, is to make you too invested, or you got to do it, even though it's like could just be one more hit that you have to do. Because they also, I noticed they always do this thing of like making it look like they're just about to die, but they're not, because like he starts flashing red, but then he starts flashing red more aggressively. Now he's like flashing a different color. It's to like trick you into thinking that you're closer to beating him than you're not. Like, I think that Mr. Burns boss fight, I think, is the pinnacle of that. Or Magneto in the X-Men arcade game. Like, they're all like that. Like, they take 1 million hits. They're not particularly hard, but they're just very powerful. And annoying to beat, and the game tricks you into thinking that you're closer to beating them than you are. Have you played the Simpsons arcade game recently?
I'm quite new to the world of arcade games. I haven't really played that many. It's only recently that I've managed to be bothered to figure out how arcade emulation works, because arcade games are notoriously tricky to emulate. And there's so many arcade games that I have played because they've never been ported to anything. I have started buying some arcade collections, but not many.
You should play the Simpsons arcade game. It's an interesting game because it was made by Japanese developers, and the only Simpsons thing that was out at that time was the first season.
Oh, really?
So it's like got some weird. It's like really odd about the world of the Simpsons. Like, it's viewing this entire like canon of the Simpsons through its first season and through Japanese eyes. So there's like, you know about Marge's Bunny Ears, right?
No.
Well,
I've never played it.
Okay, so
you talk, I'll shoot.
Okay, originally in The Simpsons, Matt Groening had designed Marge's hair to be covering up a pair of rabbit ears, and it was going to be like a big shocker, like a joke at the end of the series that Marge was actually a rabbit the whole time. And it's stupid, and it's one of those things like Homer was supposed to be Krusty the Clown. That's why they look so alike.
Oh, really?
like lots of little stuff like that was never fully realized about the series. But in the Simpsons arcade game, if Marge becomes electrocuted, you can see a pair of bunny ears like in her skeleton, and that must have come from the like original like design document, or like the whatever they were given, like facts about the Simpsons or whatever.
So I don't know if you can tell now, listeners, I'm on level 4 of Metal Slug, and you can probably tell that, like, in terms of how much shit is on the screen, it's really ramped up. This is where the game starts to just
in the tank.
Wars. I'm getting in the titular Metal Slug. Sorry, I just wanted to point out that this game suddenly got a lot harder. I didn't know that about Marge Simpson. It's funny. Someone I work with is big into the Simpsons, really big into the Simpsons, and probably knows that stuff, but I didn't. And I've never played the arcade game. Is the arcade game now available? Because for the longest...
It was briefly available on the Xbox 360, but now the rights have gone away again. It's a weird thing.
That's a game where emulation really helps out, because before the Xbox 360 port, I knew it had been ported to something, but before then it had never been ported to anything, had it? That was the first and only time.
I think there was a PC version when it first came out, so it's not like a perfect port at all. It's like a DOS version, I think it is. So it's like a really like rubbish version of it, probably not worth playing.
Wow. But is it worth playing?
It's worth playing, yeah. Yeah, it's a really good arcade. It's one of my favourite arcade beat-em-ups. It's really good.
I might have it on my PS.
I think it was by the same people who did the Ninja Turtles game, the X-Men game. It's by that same sort of team where they were just sort of making like really good beat 'em ups. And the Simpsons one is very good.
It's Konami, isn't it?
It's Konami. Well, that's the thing with the rights, because the rights, technically the Simpsons rights, but they belong to Disney.
Yeah.
But the game belongs to the team that created it under Konami, and Konami as well, and whatever sort of parent companies Konami are associated with as well. So the rights are all like, no one knows who the fuck owns that game, really. I guess if Disney wanted, they could put some work in and get ownership of that game, and they could release it. But I doubt that. It'd be too much work.
Well, I don't know. They released Aladdin and the Lion King.
Yeah, that's true. But those games, like Disney owns the Lion King. It's not going to be hard. It's not too hard to get the rights.
Disney own the Simpsons.
Yes, but they don't own Konami. Oh, but then again, they didn't own the
Virgin Interactive.
But then again, Virgin Interactive are dead, so it might have been easier to get those rights.
So is Konami.
That's a good point as well. Either way,
just do it. Konami wouldn't even notice it was happening.
Just emulate the game. That's a good point. Yeah. Sorry, we're too busy making Silent Hill NFT.
Just tell us a Pachinko game. Oh god.
Yeah.
Silent Hill NFTs. I knew there was oh shit. I knew there was this is my last credit. I might have to pop some more virtual quarters into the machine. This is the last level. This level, like, I want to see someone beat. I don't know if someone's probably done it, but beat this level without dying. I no normal human being can do it. It's too much. And I'm trying. Like, I'm really trying. Whoa. Oh.
There is one thing in the Simpsons arcade game that's kind of aged badly.
That was a really disgusting burp. I apologise to all of our wholesome Christian listeners.
But there is one thing that's kind of aged badly in the Simpsons arcade game, which is that all of the characters. No, it's not just a poo. All of the games, all of the family has their own sort of special weapon that they use, and Marge's is a Hoover.
I think that's in keeping.
I know, but it's
character,
funny.
especially back then. You know, she was the housewife. But it was a parody of that American Life. So
I know, but it's still quite funny that that's her weapon. It's a fun game. Fun game with lots of weird references. It's like, wow, that's what The Simpsons was back in season 1.
you know what? I might play it between now and I'll see if I can get Emma to play it with me. And,
yeah, the game also has a really fun like combo system where two characters can interact.
I forgot to mention the you know, there's this arcade I keep talking about in Leeds.
Yeah.
They have an original Simpsons arcade machine.
What?
This
That's
arcade
amazing.
is the real deal. I know I've mentioned it before. It's
Are
called
you
Arcade
joking?
Club. It's called
That's amazing.
It's called the Arcade Club in Leeds. It's 3 floors of just back-to-back arcade
Right,
machines.
why am I not going to Leeds
I know.
and come into the arcade? Invite me over then.
Come over. Hold on, I'm
Fine.
playing Metal Slug.
Coming over tomorrow.
Alright.
I will come over. I'd actually like that. Let me know when I can come over, and I'll come over.
Alright, okay. Well, I've got a half-term holiday coming up, so maybe that would be a good time. But if you do ever find yourself in Leeds anyway, I know you've been here before on various outings, and just remember the Arcade Club. It's got an actual.
Well, we'll go there together and we'll play The Simpsons together.
Yeah, it's got the X-Men arcade machine. It's got
X-Men's a really good one.
It's got a Hatsune Miku, Project Diva.
I would just say, if we play The Simpsons arcade game, I do claim Marge, because Marge is actually one of the best ones because her Hoover is has really long range. But yeah, the characters can team up and do special attacks together. It's a really, really good arcade game.
My fucking wrist is killing me from playing this game. Tap, tap, tap. Oh my god.
So have you played the X-Men arcade game?
No, like I said...
Have you not played the X-Men one? That one's really good.
I played... they've got the Alien vs Predator Capcom game. I played that. And the Konami Aliens arcade game, which is good. They've got Afterburner with the moving cabinet. That's very good. Yeah, like it's the real deal. I was really shocked. I knew there was an arcade in this part of Leeds. It's not in the city centre. You do have to travel out. But I thought it was some gimmicky thing. You just pay a flat fee. I think it's gone up a bit now. It's about £19, but everything's on free play. And I spend
Michael, that is £19 for games that you would usually spend like, I don't know what,
I spend all
a tenner
day there.
for.
Time Crisis
a tenner
1,
for the big.
Time Crisis 2, Time
You
Crisis
spend about
3.
£5 on like one game anyway for like 5 minutes. That's a bargain.
Yep, they got one of the House of the Dead. I can't remember which one though. I think it's the third one. It's the third one.
Third one is the best. Third one is the best one.
I think
anyway.
it's that one. Silent Scope, the old Jurassic Park Lost World. They've got all.
What is it? The one that you sit in the car thing?
No, not the one you sit in the car. Not the one you sit in the car. They ain't got that one.
That one's the best one. That's the one they had at my local cinema.
Yeah, I had played that before a long time ago. I thought it was scary.
It was scary.
You get chased by the T-Rex, don't you? In the car.
Yeah. Very scary. Yeah, that was one of the best ones. The Jurassic Park. But you got me thinking about Sega World now, and I love Sega.
I love Sega. I've only been there once.
I went there a couple of times.
It was a pilgrimage for me as a child to get to Sega World.
It was a world full of Sega. It was quite a...
That's the first time I ever played a light gun game.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it Sega?
It was Time Crisis. I'd
it was
never
just
seen
this
one
sort of...
before.
It was like the biggest arcade you could think of. It was like, how many floors was it? It had a giant...
It was insane. Because in the UK, I don't know, we didn't really have arcades like they seem to have done in America.
It was more like a Japanese-style arcade, really, like the giant complex of games.
In the UK, arcades were usually found at the seaside.
Or in a pub, you might have the odd arcade game there.
Maybe.
They might have Point Blank 2 at the pub.
Yeah, I like Point Blank.
Point Blank 2 is really good. We all love Point Blank 2.
There's a nice Japanese remake of Point Blank, an arcade machine that has like HD upgraded versions of all the old Point Blank mini games.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, they've got that at the Arcade Elite as well.
When I was on holiday in Las Palmas recently,
you just played computer games the whole time, didn't you?
No, I didn't. I also went to cruising, but I was in between those times. I did other things.
Did the cruising bars have arcade machines in them?
They didn't, but there was a time. I do remember distinctly. I got very drunk and found, 4-player Pac-Man.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I love 4-player Pac-Man. There was an arcade there that had it. I got really drunk and just started listening to David Bowie on my phone and just started playing 4-player Pac-Man, singing the songs out loud.
They've got the 4-player Pac-Man at the Arcade Elite as well.
What? 4-player Pac-Man? Oh, we gotta go, Michael, because 4-player Pac-Man's so much fucking fun.
You can look up
it's
the list
so fun.
They've even got shit games for old people, like the original Asteroids. You can play fucking Pong.
I'm not going to spend my time playing Asteroids.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I like the graphics, the old Vectrex graphics.
Yeah, they're fun.
The original Donkey Kong's there. It's shit. I don't know why everyone cares so much about the original Donkey Kong. It's shit. Hi everyone.
That's a thing we could talk about.
Shit
you
games?
didn't. No, have you seen the trailer for the Mario Bros movie?
You know what, I have. It's not. I wouldn't normally bother to watch something like that, but
Did you just want to see the designs?
Yeah, I just wanted to see his face.
I mean, he looked like Mario. There wasn't really any big changes. I think he had. They changed his face slightly. Like I think he is kind of a Disney face now.
Guys, I did it.
Like, I think there was someone who posted a picture of Mario and of Fix-It Felix from Wreck-It Ralph, and they look almost identical.
Oh, I see.
And I mean, it kind of makes sense. It's Fix-It Felix is a parody of Mario, basically, but they still look like exactly the same.
I think the trailer just annoyed me because it was a really tropey trailer, especially like audio-wise. You know, it had the fades to black sound that's in all the trailers that I can't stand, and I don't really like watching trailers for stuff anymore.
No, it didn't have because like the big cliche now is to do like oh no, they did do that, sorry, which was where they take an iconic theme but they make it like more movie, more epic, and they did that with the first few notes of the Mario Bros theme. Like they had the do do do, and you're supposed to get like chills when you hear that.
It doesn't work on me.
What did you think of Chris Pratt as Mario?
Sounded like Chris Pratt.
Well, apparently he kind of has a little bit of a New York accent at the end,
right? But
that's it, and it's definitely not what he was hyping it up to be. He said it was going to be like nothing that we've seen before. He just sounded like Chris Pratt.
Yep.
And Toad sounded alright, I guess. He just sounded like exactly how I'd expect him to. Which is annoying.
Why? Is Toad your favourite?
No, I just always expect Toad to be annoying, because he has an annoying voice, so I didn't expect him to not have an annoying voice.
Right, next time I play an arcade game, I need to sort out the auto fire, because my hands hurt. I'm an old man, I can't do this shit anymore.
Hey, Granddad.
So we've got 10 more minutes left, and then I'm getting off out of here. So if you've got any final words about the Munsters, you've got 9 minutes.
I love the Munsters. I love the Munsters, Michael.
Yeah, but how much?
I love the Munsters.
All your heart.
I have with all my heart. I love them. I love the Munsters. I love Herman. I love Lily. I love Grandpa Munster. And those are the only ones I know of because I've only seen the movie.
Is Rob Zombie in the film somewhere?
No, not from what I know. Oh, I love the Munsters. It's just so filled with cartoon sound effects and things I never thought I would see in a proper movie.
It's barely a proper movie, though.
There are times when the camera actually zooms in, like, in a wacky way. Oh, it's such a good movie, The Munsters.
I don't think the critical response is going to be particularly good to it. I don't think history is going to be very kind to the Munsters movie.
Probably not.
But do you think Rob Zombie's sleeping well, knowing that he's made his film, his dream?
Yeah, I think so, definitely.
And no one can touch it.
No one can touch it. The only thing, it should be in black and white. That's the only thing.
Maybe they'll release another version. They did that with Mad Max, didn't they? Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
There was a black and white version of that. So you never know.
They did that with Logan. They've done it with a couple films. Should be black and white, really. So anyway, are you going to see the Mario movie? I wanted to ask you that. No.
From the makers of Minions? No, I don't think so.
Would you see a Zelda movie if they did it?
What, a CGI Zelda film? A Western No, same problem. Is Link going to talk?
Probably.
Exactly. So I don't know. These are games that are so entrenched in video gameness, not just video game history, but they are really good video games, and they're very good video games because they do the things that only video games can do. So translating them to film doesn't really work, I don't think. And I think that's the problem with the Mario film is, like, you got to get this guy to talk, and whatever you do, it's going to be weird.
Yeah.
And you've got to have a plot. And Mario games don't really have all that much of a plot other than just saving the day. Mario's not really a character. The movie's
but the movie's gonna be that. It's just gonna be Mario goes on an adventure to save Peach, probably.
But Mario himself isn't really a character. Mario doesn't have much in the way of motives in the games, does he? He's just a baby man with a moustache.
His motive is the player's motive, essentially. Yeah, it's it's definitely not going to be as it will probably be not as interesting as the Sonic movie, is what I'm going to say, because the Sonic movie had stuff that was like interesting to think about, like its message of never follow your dreams was really weird. But I can't see the Mario movie like doing anything that would be like bizarre like that. I don't know. I think it's weird that Nintendo wanna. They're so desperate now to be back in the. I think might even be like inspired by Marvel. Like, you know, they want to get in the movie biz, because, you know, you do all these, then you can make a Smash Brothers movie in 10 years' time.
Look at that soldier in the bottom right-hand corner who has a reflection. They coded in reflections to these pixelated characters. That's amazing. Can you see that?
Yeah, that is kind of amazing, actually. I didn't notice that.
Anyway, sorry, you were talking about the artistic medium of film and the Marvel cinematic universe and how everyone wants a piece of that pie.
I think that's what Nintendo are doing. I think they're tipping their toes into Mario, and then they're gonna do a Zelda one, and then they're gonna do a, I don't know. Does Nintendo even know what Metroid is?
Balloon fight.
Do Balloon fight. They'll do Pikmin. They'll do
Animal Crossing. I'm surprised there isn't an
Animal Crossing is one.
I'm surprised there isn't already just Animal Crossing stuff like that.
Oh, they'll definitely do that. They could probably do a TV show.
Yeah, do a TV show. 10-minute little bite-sized chunks of Animal Crossing.
Yeah, do that for kids and put it on Netflix, and they'll like it.
Make it for kids, so adults can masturbate over it. That's how it works with Nintendo.
That's all people want. All people want is Bowsette. Give them Bowsette.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that.
I'm surprised you remember Bowsette.
I do. I don't know how it happened, but people liked it.
The internet got horny. That was how
Yeah.
it happened. Turns out the internet is very horny.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh well, I remember when that tall lady from Resident Evil was on everyone's minds because she was tall. Do you remember?
Yeah, I know.
I never even played that game. Was it good?
And you get, yeah, it was good.
Was the tall lady good? She was very.
She wasn't in it that much. You get the impression from the advertising that she's the main villain. She's not, and the main villain's actually pretty boring. She has all of the like fun character stuff. Like she has way more personality than the actual villain of the story. But it was good. A bit of an unbalanced game because it weirdly.
You got 1 minute left to do it.
It isn't that scary. It's not that scary, and then you get to a point in the game where for about an hour the game takes all your weapons away from you, it becomes the fucking scariest thing that you've ever played. And it's brilliant, but it feels like they literally gave the game away to someone else to design for like a couple months. You know, it was brilliant, but it felt like something out of a completely different game because it was actually terrifying and not just like funny.
Did they let the work experience kid have a go?
Well, if he did, he was fucking good work experience because he made something brilliant. Yeah, he made the best part of the game, which was brilliant. Loved it. If you ever play it, yeah, that's the best bit. You'll know when it happens because the tone of the game changes almost completely.
I need to play Resident Evil games again.
Yeah, did you ever play 7?
No.
Well, since you don't like horror games, but since you like horror games now, you might like Resident Evil 7.
Maybe, yeah. 6 kind of killed it.
6 is bad, 6 is terrible, but 7 is the one people like.
I know, they do, and it looks good, and you know. We were talking about Resident Evil 5 the other time. We should.
Yeah, we were talking about how racist
we should talk about that again when we're recording.
Yeah.
So this is it. This is what we're going to be doing for a little while. There is a plan that Stevie might be moving to a house, or is moving to a house or a home that has very good internet. So perhaps we will be able to live stream. But for now, we are going to do offline stream, which is. It's a good compromise. I'm going to see about getting this up on YouTube, and I hope you enjoy it. And you know, whatever, we're just doing this for fun, really. And Stevie loves the Munsters, so
I love them so much.
Thanks for watching and listening. Yeah, cool. See you later.
Thank you, Herman. Thank you, Lily. Thank you, Grandpa Munster.
And Robert.
Robert.
Robert the Zombie.
Is he a monster character? I don't know. I haven't seen the Munsters TV show.
Robert the Zombie.
Oh yeah, Robert. Oh, I love the Munsters.
Yeah.